There we go. I have you up as a speaker now. It took me a second to unmute you. I was having a difficulty. I started speaking. I thought I had already unmuted you, but I guess it didn't go through. But we should be good now. How you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Nice, nice, nice. That's awesome. Just give me just a second. I'm just getting my notes ready, and then we can kickstart this AMA. I'm actually really excited. You got really in-depth white papers and information. I was reading about it. I actually enjoyed my time reading it and looking it over. It's really fascinating. I like the approach you guys did. So
Yeah, thanks. It's exciting times now. We have L2 launch on Monday, so a lot of work
yeah,
in the
very
next
excited.
yeah the few next coming days.
All right. Well, greetings, Crypto Eagles. Welcome, everybody. Today we have uh, I believe it's pronounced. I'd rather actually try to have you pronounce it, but I think it's Etherization. I wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
was actually saying okay, because some of the names are tricky. I go to pronounce it, and it's like I'm way off. So yeah. So today we have Etherization. It's a revolutionary blockchain-based game that redefines concept of play-to-earn gaming. It has an immersive, dynamic NFT-powered gaming with seamlessly blends the elements of city building, resource management, and a captivating gameplay, immersing players into the world of strategic conquest and cultural development. I love the mix. I've done a lot of research into what you guys are building, and I was really excited for today. So, without further ado, if you would like to do a little introduction on yourself, maybe some of the core team members, and then we can dive into your guys' project.
yeah, sure. Just before I start, John, my colleague, he also joined and he requested to speak. So I will be answering most of the questions, but maybe you can also give him permission.
Yeah,
So
I don't have his hand
I'm
raised.
here.
If you
I'm
can raise his
here.
hand.
Hi, guys.
Oh, there,
Hi.
you're already there. You're on top of
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
yeah, so I'm Vedran. I started this game in 2016. Before that, I was, of course, started with Bitcoin. I really liked the whole, decentralized approach and how it disrupts finance, and I loved it from that angle. And yeah, it was just like amazing mix of tech and the way it can change the world, make it more free, and you can also finance your living by being in that space. So and then I learned about Ethereum very early on one conference, I think in 2015, before it actually went live, and I managed to talk to Vitalik, and I really loved the idea of having smart contracts and basically being able to decentralize any platform. And then I thought of also being part of that space more actively as I'm a developer. So I thought it's natural to start with a game because it's good way to learn how how things work. And then later my other co-project is CryptoTask, which is a freelancing platform. So I got into that as well. But basically, the idea behind the game was I loved Civilization when I was a kid, and then I thought if I could do something similar on blockchain where it would involve real money and it would be, it could run forever and the rules and the whole logic would be immutable and transparent. So that was really important to me. Actually, it was interesting how Vitalik started Ethereum. He also mentions one of the reasons was that he was playing World of Warcraft before, and he hated that they changed some rules without community having any say in it. So yeah, it's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, and then
I think that's pretty cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Actually,
yeah,
one of
yeah,
my favorite games is Civilization, and when I was looking
yeah,
over your guys' game board and how it's set up, I had that same feeling. Right, you're starting off with your square, you're empty, you get your building and your resource management, and you start building up your territory. So yeah, no,
yeah,
I definitely
exactly.
like how you guys have positioned yourself in kind of that niche place because no one else is really doing
Mm,
that similar style.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
definitely
and
hands to it.
yeah, when you mentioned this, another reason why, another factor which I was considering before building the game was if it's somehow appropriate for blockchain, and I think that's another reason why civilization like game which is term based makes a lot of sense. So you know. You have some blockchain games which are maybe a character is on chain, and some of the stuff like trading and then maybe some you know like characteristics and stuff like that. But if it's like fast game and real time with a lot of stuff happening, then sometimes it will involve a centralized server to handle something. So I really wanted to avoid that. And then you have this. You have to be really careful when designing a game that you manage to get it 100% decentralized, but also have it engaging. Because you obviously, you have to think about the size of the contract, there are limits on that, and then gas fees, and there's maximum computation which you can have in one transaction. So that kind of took a lot of work, and with layer two as well, we considered really a lot of things. That's why it's on Polygon. Yeah, we'll get to that later, but yeah, basically. The idea is really to have it 100% decentralized. That's really important for me. So also front end is a single page app in Vue, and then we have it deployed on centralized server, but we also deployed it on IPFS. So and there's also decentralized domain. So we have this idea that if we disappear, die, whatever, the game should still be available. Yeah.
Nice. So that no matter what, the gameplay and the immersive tech will be persistent even throughout the life of people playing it, right? Because like as much as I love like you're saying the decentralized gaming and even how Vitalik was like, oh, I want to build something so it's centralized or not so much centralized, kind of decentralized. And then you guys bought that with the gaming. Well, that aspect right there is another thing is like if a person makes a game and it's decentralized and you're playing the game and then it disappears and the game stops running, well, what good is having the ownership, right? So I definitely like how you guys thought about that. Like even
Yeah.
if God forbid, you disappear, something happens to
Yeah.
you get sick, your team just disappears, you guys are done or move on,
Mm-hmm.
the game still functions and the utilities are still there for the investors to at least enjoy, or even if they want to exit without it being such a big issue. And, like, everybody's just rugging. No, the game will go on forever. So I definitely like the aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's really,
exactly.
I'd say investor first, right? So I love it.
Yeah, and the idea is that I also like the idea of having the whole thing modular. So you have, let's say the token is on Ethereum. So these are the cities themselves. So the game is, yeah, if someone hasn't looked it up, it's basically a map 34 by 34 where each square can host a city. And yeah, so these cities are NFTs on Ethereum, but the rest of L2 is on Polygon. So let's say someone has some other ideas, they could in future uh, extend these smart contracts, build something on of their own. So my idea is that yeah, the game is as it is. It should run forever, but it should also easily allow someone to build extensions and yeah, it should be available in 20 years or these really large time spans, because a lot of stuff works like within few months. There's a lot of hype, but then if developers lose interest and let's say they terminate front end or the game or back end also depends on a centralized server, then the whole thing stops working. So that's really something I wanted to avoid.
So I have a little comment. So your NFTs are on Ethereum, but your actual in-game settlement is on Polygon.
Yes, so the whole part with trading tokens and OpenSea and all that is on Ethereum, but for layer two, which will be deployed this Monday, you play on Polygon, and the token that you are earning is also on Polygon. So the basic reason is, as you could all guess, is gas fees.
Yeah, it's much.
Yeah, 100%. No, that was definitely I was actually going to comment on the fact that you
Yeah.
guys have finally decided, you know what? If I want my game to scale, if I really want my game to have a
Mm.
future, I need to get away from this insane fees right now.
No,
And
it's impossible. I mean,
it's impossible, right? So it's crazy.
even in 2016, so the game was deployed in 2016. Even back then, because you have a the game has quite a bit of features, so it's of course not not close to real civilization because that's just insanely complex, but it's also, in my opinion, quite more complex than most of our other games, which from these historic games also was like more you have a map and you can just have something there, but there's not much mechanics there. So even in 2016, you had things like battles. You had three types of units, like pikemen, swordsman, knight, and you had some like Caesar stone. These mechanics, one is strong against the other, but weak against the third. Uh, yeah, and then treasury and buildings and all kinds of stuff. So you have a garrison in each city which can host 10 units, and so you have some kind of loop in there. So even back then it was like on Ethereum it could get, I had to think about it. It was barely playable, but then very quickly when fees escalated, it just, yeah, it didn't make any sense. It would just be way too expensive. So
Yep, I
yeah,
totally
we
agree.
moved to, yeah.
I was just gonna say I like the move. The layer two move is actually a good, I would say, business plan. And Polygon is set themselves up as an industry GameFi token. I
Mm.
mean, not token, but ecosystem, right? As
And the
in low
block time
fees,
is
fast
very, very,
transaction, and blue chip, right? So
yeah, and block times are very fast. So
yeah,
uh, Ethereum is 10 seconds, Polygon is 2 seconds. So it means
exactly.
even if you pay a lot on Ethereum, in best case you will get, on average 10 seconds, but that can be 15, 20, which means when you make a move, it's like, you have to wait and wait before your attack is resolved or unit built or whatever. And Polygon is like very close to centralized gaming experience, and it's cheap. So yeah, so how the architecture works is you there Polygon is actually aware of Ethereum state. That's what's really nice. So you don't have to even lock your token in some kind of bridge. Basically, Polygon can read from Ethereum state. So if you own this token, there's a proxy contract which just updates also Polygon state. So if you either minted a city on Ethereum or you bought a city on OpenSea, you can just do this transmit of your city state, and then Polygon contract will become aware of it. And then you just keep on playing, MetaMask will switch to Polygon network, and you just keep playing there. And you earn tokens there. There will be Uniswap pair with this Polygon ERC20. And yeah, everything is cheap and fast then.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it, and that's smart. And Polygon and Matic and the whole ecosystem has gotten such huge upgrades over the last 2 years that I think it's a no brainer to be deploying your GameFi on that. Like you're saying, it's cheaper, it's faster, and then the easily seamless interoperability between your NFTs and then the actual gameplay on Polygon is huge. So definitely agree, and I love that. So my only question is, what does a person need to do in order to just start? Like if they wanted to start right now, what would be their entry to barrier? What would their pathway be to start playing the game today?
So you could mint a city, or you could buy a city on OpenSea. The cities are quite valuable. Mint price is 0.888 ETH, and that's because the maximum number of NFTs is small, only around 1,000, and it's historic. So it's from 2016. It's first play to earn blockchain game. So yeah, and then if you mint or buy a city, uh, you would then go, so you would go to etherization.org. You can do all that there, and then on Monday you would be able to transmit this city to layer 2, and then yeah, you have this interface where you can build units, you can attack other cities, and so on. And we also have it deployed on testnet already. So you could go to new.etherization.org, and you could just play there for free because the layer one is on Gerli and layer two is on Mumbai Polygon. So as long as you have these testnet Gerli and testnet Mumbai Polygon, you could play.
Yeah, we can post all links on our Twitter, Vedran, and on Discord. So
yeah. The link where there's all other links is about.etherization.org. I think these links are also included in the Twitter post. So that's basically it.
I just want to add that people can buy a city from on OpenSea a bit cheaper than minting. So get your opportunity right now and do it.
Yeah, there are two cities slightly below. One is but it's not much cheaper. It's 0.75. So this just because of the historic value, the entry barrier is a bit high. But in my opinion, with historic NFTs, it's just their value goes up because what was like, if it's from 2016, it was historic in 2021, and now 2023, it's going to be more historic in 2025.
Yep.
I just was sharing a couple of your guys' tweets. It looks like I got one tweet up just talking about the upcoming launch of the Layer 2. And then I just also pinned up the YouTube video, just a little something so people can see the teaser of it. I like it. I love the whole aesthetics. Right now, turn-based games are kind of what I'm playing because I'm working constantly in the space. So something where I can just pay attention when I need to, but I'm not busy sitting like, oh my God, I missed my chance to do something. Is the game I'm playing. So I definitely love it.
Yeah, and it's not 100% turn-based. It's kind of, I would say it's like a slow real time because you wouldn't be able to have a proper turn-based game because you would be waiting on someone else who would maybe just not be there. So what you have is
like 8 hours later the person has turned.
Yeah. So you can do stuff whenever, but wait times are like there are these production times and rest time for units. So you can I think build time for unit is like 8 hours, and then rest time is 24 hours and stuff like that. So that means that you can make your move whenever, and you can move multiple units, but then you have to wait for them to rest. So no one will be able to come and do insane amount of thing, and just because you were sleeping, screw you. So it's kind of the idea is you come online maybe once per day, you do your stuff, then you come the next day, you see what happened, and
there will be notifications as well.
Yeah, no, I like that. Oh yeah, and that's cool too to have notifications if something happens. Like let's say you're getting attacked and you are too busy doing something, you get a little pop-up notification saying you better react to something because you're about to get attacked.
Yeah. There are these icons also appear on the map, so you can see not just related to you, but you can see where there was a recent battle, or there are all kinds of features. Like if let's say you're much stronger than some other city, you can also send them surrender requests. So they can preserve their army if they decide there's no point fighting at this point. Also, what's important, the original game from 2016, you could properly conquer another city. So this player would be they would be kicked out of the game if their only city was conquered. But that's not compatible with NFTs. So what we have now is a city becomes a vassal. So it means it pays tribute to the ruling city, and that means that even if someone like you were not online for a while, or you were just not interested, or whatever, the worst that can happen is that you will become a vassal of some other city, and you will still be earning income, just not as much because a percentage will be going to the ruling city. But you can always rebel later. You can build up the army. You have a chance to rebel. So you're always in the game. You're never completely lost.
Yeah,
I think that's really important.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Eventually, let's say I went on vacation and I come back and I'm a vassal and I'm like, man, I'm paying all this money, and eventually I can build back up and decide to rebel and have my freedom, my independence. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. You guys really thought of all the different little aspects, because that's true. I would hate it. I spend .75 or whatever ETH
Yeah, and
for the
you lose your
NFT and then get
NFT.
conquered.
No, no one would play that.
That's it. Bye bye. That would
Yeah, and then
suck.
people
But
would be, it would skew up mechanics because people would really like, they would look for all kinds of loopholes. They would invest a lot just to dominate the game, and the game would deteriorate like really quickly.
yeah,
Even with the
yeah, that
the 2016 game, you have this. With the traditional mechanics, where you can just like a conquer city, which is the first thing which should come, to your mind when you're designing a game. It's you can get one player, they start dominating, and then it gets even easier for them. And as a new player, you feel kind of lost, and you lose your motivation to get into the game, or so with this you have like it never deteriorates to that point. You're rewarded for good making good decisions, and you can increase your income and reputation in the game. Whatever you see all these lines with coins coming to your city if you have many vessels, so that's kind of cool. And also a vessel can have a vessel, so you can have a whole hierarchy of money coming to your city. But it's never it never degenerates. I'm kind of happy with this mechanic that we eventually evolved to, because I think it really always allows new players to join the game, and maybe someone who became a vessel, if they work hard to regain their freedom, they can do it. And so I think it's well balanced.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely like it. And so my next question is kind of like the probably the investors and community's most like anticipated question is basically the revenue model and the anti-inflation. As in, what plans do you have to
Mm-hmm.
kind of continually utilize the token so that it has a constant sustainability to it, so it doesn't feel like there's always a downward pressure to your chart, because
Yeah, absolutely.
as the game goes, you're going to be rewarding 35 by 35 square on there's going to be a chance for influx in pricing. So I just want to see what kind of things you've
Mm-hmm.
implemented.
Yeah, that was one of the main points when we were designing the game, was to address that. So there are risk-based mechanics in the game when it comes to, well, let's say battles. There's randomness in that. So we use for all random events, we use Chainlink Oracle. So that's battles and some other stuff. But it's also related to withdrawals. So when your treasury is accumulating token, you can either invest this token into building units and other stuff, or you can decide at some point, okay, I want to withdraw and I want to cash out at OpenSea. So what you have in the game, as we said, the game is 34 by 34, and then at one of these squares, there's what's called an exchange fair, and this exchange fair randomly moves around the map every 3 days. And then when you want to withdraw, uh, the chance of successful withdrawal is higher closer this exchange fair is to your city. So there's this bandit risk that bandits will raid the caravan carrying gold. And so what this then incentivize players to do is to maybe reinvest token in the game. And of course they can wait for, it's reasonable if they want to withdraw, it's reasonable to wait for this caravan to get closer to your city. But as you're waiting for this, your treasury will be increasing, and then this also incentivizes other players to attack your city, make it into a vessel and raid your treasury. So then if you're waiting, you will still want to maybe invest something in building an army to defend your city. So you can see how this incentivizes players to also spend this token and reinvest it into the game.
Also, there will
Yeah.
be burns. 20% of each city mint cost would go toward token burn, right? So
Yeah, that's true as well. So that's something that, especially during the initial phase, will be an extra factor to I mean, that's almost deflationary, so we could even have token going up. But even if the whole map is minted, this kind of mechanic is what really curbs inflation a lot. And then also, if you have engaging gameplay, you will have other players who, let's say, you became a vassal and you want to regain your freedom. You will maybe buy some token on OpenSea on Uniswap to quickly build up the army because your income is maybe too low. So it's also just having as engaging gameplay as possible makes it's very likely, or you're like really close to winning some battle. You have some huge competitor on the map, and you will maybe buy some token extra to add to your treasury. So we cannot predict this, of course, 100%, but I think having engaging mechanics is also something that will maybe even motivate some players to buy token.
No, I totally agree, and I like that. You really thought of it. A lot of these other, I would say, P2E games. They have a really good mechanics, they have really good utilities, but then their inflation kind of gets out of control. And I think proper ecosystem is important. So it seems like you guys have really thought of that though, because I like the whole aspect as in like it's almost as if it's like a roving merchant, right? And then if you want to sell your goods for real world assets, you got to wait for the merchants to come around. I like it. It's a cool aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of like times your guys' overall drawdown. Like, let's say there are some people in there that have like 5 cities and they want to make some money. Well, they should wait, or they can build up and their competitor has some big money too, and they're like, well, why I wait? I can spend a bunch, make an army, attack this guy, raid his coffers, and I can have double. So I love that. It's like you got to strategically think how you're going to profit. So it's pretty cool. It's good.
Yeah, it's exactly like what you're limited by in smart contracts by having relatively simple mechanics. So what we really try to do is by having simple rules get quite complex total effect where a player really needs to think. It's even like for me it's hard to predict how people would play because you have relatively simple rules, but whether you weigh, there's some randomness in it. You can actually calculate a lot, and you can look at what your neighbors are doing. Lots of factors at play. So I think what's also important is that it will reward people who make good decisions, who predict what will happen in their on the map in their neighborhood. They are looking at what other people are doing. It's not like play to earn game where you just it has this crazy inflation curve. Who got in early, then they make profit, they cash out later, and then the whole game just falls apart. So it's more like there's a factor of randomness, and you're definitely an advantage if you come in early. But it's also a skill-based game. So we want to reward people who are making good decisions, and that's exactly what I think will also then limit inflation, because you have people who are, I will buy token because I know how to play this game well, so I will maybe spend some money, but later I know I can play better than these people around me. So that's the idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it because like a lot of some of the and I'm not trying to trash talk any other company or any project building out here. I love everything that's built on the technology, blockchain, like you're saying. I'm fascinated from the tech from the ground up. But I like how you guys are setting yourself apart because even individual stuff affects the whole kind of globe of the whole map in an essence. It's like a global economy. You don't want to play a game like that to earn small potatoes and then watch someone else expand and grow and start earning a lot when you might be like, okay, I want to get to that point, and you start doing the same thing, and then you start affecting your side of the globe. I don't know. I'm so fascinated by the game and your guys' mechanics that like I'm even strategizing how I would play. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And I wanted to comment on you guys using Chainlink and Oracle for you guys as RFI. I really do appreciate that transparency because a lot of other people say they build their own in-house. And to tell you the truth, I don't really trust anybody's RFIs these days or Oracles or any of that stuff. So I really do appreciate you guys being transparent and using a reputable company. I've dealt with and worked with Chainlink many times, and I really do like their work and what they do. So it really brings kind of fairness and honesty to your guys' project, your company. It's because you guys got much more than just a project. You guys got a full-fledged company here, especially when you make partnerships like that. So just wanted to comment and give you a little kudos onto that.
Yeah.
Now before I get on too heavy into a tangent, we've talked about the current features, we've talked about the current gameplay. What kind of things are you excited about coming into 2024? New feature sets or anything you guys might be working on that you guys are kind of like excited to come out. You don't have to give too much alpha. I just know that obviously you guys are building in the background. You have your layer 2, being released very soon and everything. So I know you guys have some stuff in the background to go with it. I know how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at our white paper, only some of the features from the white paper were implemented in the current layer 2, which will be released on Monday, because the white paper is really rich in mechanics, and already as it is, we have. So there's a lot of contracts in play, a lot of code which you. So there's a contract on Ethereum which is ERC 721, and then another contract on Ethereum side needs to come in, which is which makes this tunnel towards Polygon. Then there's another Polygon tunnel contract on Polygon side. Then you have ERC20 contract on Polygon side. Then there's the game state contract on Polygon side, which holds like all the things like what is the current garrison of your city, what's the treasury, and so on. And then for logic, there are two logic contracts, logic 1 and logic 2, which have functions for like how battles are resolved and how stuff is built and surrender requests and whatnot. And so what's implemented right now is you can have units. As I said, there are 3 types of units: pikeman, swordsman, and knight. And the mechanic is quite simple. So pikeman is strong against the knight, and knight is strong against swordsman. So it's this, his like medieval kind of battles. If you know anything about it, you will get the logic. And then what's cool about this mechanic is that you will want to look at what kind of armies your neighbors have and then build according to that. And also you have some buildings. Even if you look now at OpenSea, these are traits of cities. So like a city can have woodworks, let's say, or metalworks, and so on. And then you will have a discount on a certain unit type. So if you have metalworks, swordsman will be cheaper. If you have stables, knight will be cheaper. So you have these battles. A city can become a vassal, and there's this whole mechanic of vessels having their own vessels. So you can have, like, if you see on a map that some city has strong army, but they have 10 vessels, they're like quite rich. You will maybe want to, invest into an army and just make this city a vassal, because you will be earning then part of income through this like second layer of vassalship. So there's all kinds of things you can do, but the basic mechanic is quite simple. And you can also send surrender requests. So you can send a surrender request to a city, and then they can decide they can surrender, and then maybe they'll be like, later I'll build an army maybe, and then I'll rebel, or they're just happy earning just 50% of maximum income, because that's the gameplay style they want. They don't want to be too active, so that's also possible.
Some city upgrades, for example.
So that's what's coming in next releases, because this is already really complex, and we wanted to release it at some reasonable time frame. But later you would be able to build upgrades. You can look more in the white paper, which will like your building times would be lower. So it's like having a workshop or this kind of upgrades. Another effect that units have is its tax collection. So we also want to reward. Earlier you asked, the maximum city income is 10 token just for the base city without the vessels, but you need to have at least 3 units to reach that potential. So units are not only for attack and defense, they're also for text collection. So these are the features that we have now, and then later, as John said, there will be upgrades. There will be the whole culture aspect that we don't have in this release, which is you can have an artifact, and then this artifact creates this culture income, because the idea is that's like, let's say, Holy Grail or this kind of artifact. And then the idea is you have all these pilgrims coming to the city, and that increases the the merchant links and all that. And there's a whole lottery mechanics how getting these artifacts would work, because if some player is quite small in the game, it would be too expensive for them to get this artifact. They would be only minted once every 2 weeks or maybe once every month. But you could participate in a lottery which relatively to how much you staked into this lottery, that would increase your chances of getting this artifact. And that would be also another way how tokens are basically burned out of the game. So it's also related to inflation. Then another feature would be to have generals, which are also tokens, which would increase effectiveness of your army in various ways. And I don't know if I forgot something. Yeah, basically you can look in the white paper, but you can see. Oh yeah, and another cool thing is you could have citizens. So because the entry barrier is quite high, so mint price is 0.88. There's the idea you could have a citizen NFT, which is like about a tenth of this price. So definitely under 0.1 ETH. And then you could have citizens living in a city, let's say, and as a citizen would want to decide the most successful city where you could get into, because you would be sharing from profits of that city. And if you're the first citizen, you would be making more than the second citizen, and second citizen more than the third citizen. So you as a citizen, you would have, it's not just like I choose any city and it doesn't matter. You would also have an active role where you would be like, okay, I like how this guy is playing with his city. And I think if I get in here early, I would be making a lot of profit later. So you would be looking at the map, and what's cool with citizen NFTs is that it all opens the door to collaboration with other projects. So like another NFT character, like some other project, maybe if we collaborate with them, their NFTs could be allowed as citizens. So they wouldn't need to mint anything. They could just come to Etherization and just stake their character there, and also make some income. So it's a great way to have collaboration.
Well, let's
With other
go.
projects.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
exciting. I like that. I like that. It's kind of like you're allowing the citizen skin or the citizen entity have a skin from another project for cross collaboration. I like that.
Yeah,
That's something that has been talked about for I don't know how many years. We need a metaverse that all the NFTs work together and all this other, but
I know.
no
Yeah,
one really,
yeah.
no one really did the tech right. But this is allowing similar standard at least play together on a similar
Yeah, because
ecosystem. I like
with
that.
smart contracts we are all in the same universe. So you want
Yeah.
to. It's kind of silly just to stay enclosed completely when there are all
Well,
these other smart contracts you can interact with.
how many times how many times have we all preached about we need to partner together, we need to grow together, we need to unite, and then we can all talk about the sentiment we need to do, but no one actually follows through when it comes to actually doing it. And a lot of projects are real selfish. And I'm not trying to, like I was saying earlier, I'm not trying to down it, but in the space where there's less than 5 million active users daily, across all many blockchains, we need to start growing together and thinking about ways that we can cross collaborate together, build together for future adoption. So when people come in, they see that type of welcoming ecosystem of multiple teams flourishing for the better of the ecosystem. And like I always said,
I agree.
it's not like there's not enough money in the world for everybody to have some of it. And if I can help you grow and you can help me grow, then maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, when we're thinking of another project, we're going to work together then too. And it's like that community and cross collaboration is gone in the real world business, but I think should truly be fostered in the blockchain
Mm.
space. So I really do
Yeah,
like how
yeah,
you
definitely.
did that.
I mean, in general, this openness idea is very hot. Not just, I mean, obviously, blockchain with smart contracts, it's kind of open by default. Of course, you have to make, you know, some methods on your smart contract side to allow it, but it's kind of already, it's kind of built to be like that. And yeah, I
Yeah,
also agree,
the
people are not
functionality's
utilizing.
there.
Yeah,
The functionality is there. You just have to implement it. And a lot of like you're saying, a lot of people just need to do it, but they haven't. So
yeah, and
it's
that's
definitely
huge advantage of smart contracts where it really allows a new developer. My idea is, you know, to always have the game open in some way that new people without my permission can come and say, I will build smart contract on top of that, which will be interacting in some way. And, you know, I don't have to allow people to, you know, do this or do that. And there's some tricks to think about. And when we mentioned these like citizen NFTs, which would be also they could come from other projects. You for example, what you would need to think about is the mint price of that, because it's not really completely fair. Like you have some NFT which is, I don't know, 0.1 ETH, and then there's something which is like a billion of them, and it costs next to nothing, and it was maybe also a lot of them were given for free. So yeah, maybe we would want to at first collaborate with projects which are kind of maybe have some rough mint price which is in some range which makes sense, and maybe with characters which are somehow related to the lore of the game, so that it's not like a completely random character. So, but we will see. It definitely, there's so many projects out there that it opens the door for
I
collaboration
agree.
with many
I agree.
projects.
You don't want to cross collaborate and then it's like a bunch of Mickey Mouse characters on your board. So like I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'd be crazy, but yeah.
no, I just I really I like the approach, man. I really do. So without further going into tangents or anything, is there any like last minute kind of call to action or anything you want to that we might have missed that you want to talk about? I have a few hands raised, and it's getting around that time where people like to ask their questions. So I figured we'd get on the last little minute. A call to action, maybe a little bit of meat, anything that we missed, and then we can get into a few of the community questions.
Yeah, I think that the best would be to go to about.etherization.org. There are all the links there, and then you can join Discord. There's link to Discord there as well, and you know the community is there. Everything that's happening is announced there. So if you like the project, you can just join our Discord. The launch will be layer 2 will be on Monday, so you can already get some cities now, like 2 are under mint price on OpenSea. You can also mint a new one if you like some special position on the map, because as you know, people like already central squares are mostly taken edge squares, and but yeah, it's not just like the position on the map matters. So you want to see on the map if there's some cool space now before it gets taken, and yeah, that's it.
Very nice, very nice. So yes, like you said, everybody take your time right now. Join the socials, join the X, follow them. And so you're saying Discord is where you find the community and where the main kind of focal point. You guys hold down your announcements and first to call. So like you said,
Mm-hmm.
join the Discord. I like it. Telegram, in my eyes, is the dinosaur, and it's full of scammers these days. So having a little bit of a safer place to keep your community, I believe, is very important, especially for GameFi. Everybody that really plays video games for on a hobby or on a day-to-day basis, they're on Discord. So I definitely like that. It's really really thought about where to bring the community and the safety and for gaming, right? So I really do appreciate the time that everything you've done today has been fantastic. I'm excited about the project. I can't wait for the layer 2 and the launch and everything going. It seems a game that, like you're saying, it has very simple aesthetics and idea and gameplay, but with really like intense mechanics and strategic ability, right? It's really in the hands
Yeah,
of the player. So
it's all
I
about
definitely
having a
love that.
set of simple rules, but then they come together to form something complex. That's the
Yeah,
because anyone can make something complex with a billion lines of code, but that's not the
Yeah.
idea. What's
If
hard
they
is to
if they
make
don't
something. Yeah,
function, right? If they don't function with each other, if there's no actual proper utilities for all of it to work together, then you end up just making a big mess that's more complicated.
yeah,
It
lots
seems
of
like
potential bugs as well, and
yeah, yeah, a lot of holes, a lot of issues. So yeah, no, definitely love it. So I'm gonna pick up my first one out of our hands that are up. It looks like Quinn. I'm gonna approve you. Hopefully, it approves that. It's weird. I have to approve a person like 3 or 4 times before they come up. That's what I had to do for you in the very beginning. So whenever you're
yeah,
ready, Quinn, go
the whole
ahead.
X interface is like it's very confusing.
Yeah, very buggy.
Yeah,
They're trying to do too much. All right, hope it's working. I've approved them like 4 times, so I might have to move on to someone else. It sucks because every time I do
there's
that, and
Sonic raising hand, but yeah, I don't. Marvel.
it's I'm gonna do Sonic. Sonic B&B. I just approved you. Yeah, it's funny because right when I approve this person, it'll probably approve the other person at the same time, and we'll have 2 people trying to talk.
Maybe if this doesn't work, they can write a
Oh,
message
got one up.
in.
We got Sonic B&B. Go ahead with your question whenever you're ready.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
Hi.
my question is, what are the best ones for people to learn more about your project and join your community? Thank you.
Well, if I understood, he asks about where to learn more about the project. Well, it's definitely Discord and the website, I think. But Discord is the most recent information.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah, and the about etherization.org is like where there's general overview of the game, and then all the links like to Discord, to Twitter, YouTube. I don't know, everything is there. So that's probably the best place to start, where you have all the other links.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the question. That was simple and easy. I just unmuted Marvel. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you very much for bringing me up to speak. So I wanted to ask, would there be like a form of communication, in-house communication in your game with, players and their, what would I call it? Will I say opposition or competitors in the game? And also, how do you kind of spreading awareness, about your project so that more people can be onboarded?
So the second part is about spreading awareness. The first part, I'm not sure if I understood correctly. If the idea was that, like, can people communicate
yeah,
between each other? Was that the question? So,
Yeah,
like, if you have one city and there's some other guy, if you can send him a message or something like that.
yeah, exactly.
That's really interesting. We don't have that feature, so you could always come on Discord and say, "Hey, I'm the owner of this city." But it's really cool because it opens the way for all kinds of things, like you could form alliances or maybe things like that. But there's one problem. You could it's definitely something that we will maybe add as a feature. I will note it, and it's a very good idea. They're just like a small, when you have a message, because we want to have it fully decentralized. If depending on the message size, okay, it's on Polygon, it's cheaper, but even Polygon can be a bit weird, maybe sometimes with gas fees. So if you have like something like just messages, which is kind of a lot of data, it's written to blockchain all the time. Um, that could be maybe a bit awkward, maybe unnecessarily expensive, but maybe something that we could build is like you sign a message with your private key, and then we have a service where messages are exchanged, which is like they go off chain, so there are no gas fees for like writing to blockchain, but you still sign with your private key, so you actually prove you're the owner of this city. So it's not like someone is faking it. So yeah, that's maybe a feature that could be added. That's like the best way to implement it, I think. But for now, I think if you write on Discord, that could be one way where you could communicate with other players. I think for now that should be good enough.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and about
Yeah,
spreading
yeah.
awareness, that was the second part. I mean, yeah, I would appreciate if all the people who like the game, they just tell their friends, and yeah,
Oh,
we hope it will grow organically, but we also have a whole awareness campaign. Apart from these Twitter Spaces, we are also doing. We will be doing web ads on P2E websites and other things. So yeah, we want basically most of people in the NFT community to know about what's happening.
Marvel, man. Good question. I really appreciate it. That was really good. That because that's actually one of the questions I forgot to ask. It's one of the questions I always ask, especially for a P2E, game is ambassador program, right? Usually I always ask this, is there a referral program or ambassador program where, somebody gets somebody to come join, buy an NFT and start playing the game and they're already playing the game, would they get a kickback or
Yeah,
reward or
absolutely. I mean,
something?
we kind of worked like that before already, and yeah, it's like if someone if they come up to us and say, we don't want people to take credit for like random means, someone means something and they say, hey, I brought this guy. So but if they say, there will be a mint coming in like next hour on this city square or on this map square, so it's super unlikely that someone just randomly guessed that, and that really happens. We can give a percentage to players, so we can definitely make a system where people who think they can bring new players into the game, they can definitely earn on that. Definitely. So they just contact us on Discord and we'll work something out.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
thank you very
awesome.
much.
Thank you, Marvel. I appreciate the question, man. You really killed it with that one. I really do
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah, no problem, buddy. I like the community members that ask good questions. And remember that, guys. If you guys, I'm gonna say this real quick too for all the community before you speak, Lena. Just give me a second. If you're a community member, you got your hands up and you come up here, please think of a really good question. And if you do, I promise you, you'll be picked more often because as much as I like to pick a new person, I also like to pick people that have consistently good questions that really did their research, found out about the project, and are interested about the project. Because ultimately, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to dissect the project, see what it's about, and if it's something we all want to get into it, I want a person that's interested to raise their hand, and I want to get those guys' questions answered because it's not about uh, it's not about, oh, can I get someone up? It's about, can I get someone up that actually wants to know about the project? So I really do appreciate everybody that really thinks about their question hard and long and has good questions. So I do appreciate Marvel. And go ahead, Lena, with your question whenever you're ready.
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, yes, you can.
Uh, my question is how does integrate emerging technologies like AI into its platform in the coming year?
That's interesting. Vedran, you can maybe talk about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, AI is really cool, but it's. I think in this case, like you have AI implemented on chain, it's really expensive, and then if it's some like off-chain module, and I don't know, it communicates via some oracle. It's not like in this game you have some need for AI. It's more like P2E game with mechanics, and players themselves, they create like a network, a brain of all kinds of connections between the cities, and so you could think of it of an AI in that way. But yeah, there's no need to have some AI in the game in traditional sense.
Unless we come up with Terminator version from Etherization from the future, then maybe yes.
I mean, you could always be a player who has an AI making decisions for you, so
Yeah.
that would be another way to have it.
Yeah, it's funny. Is AI is that like trending talk. Everybody wants to see if everything has AI in it. And AI has its place and AI doesn't have its place. And I don't think that AI would be a functional, utility, at least at this point in the game's maturity, right? So AI is very functional. It's really cool and all, but I think that it has its place, at least right now.
Exactly. Yep.
Maybe when the AI becomes the dungeon master and game dev itself, then maybe when that capability happens, then you'll see it more often. But if a game like this is talking about AI, it's more of the marketing ploy than it really is functionality. So
I would agree.
So thank you for the question, and let's see, we'll get one more question in. And I was looking through the comments, but a lot of the comments that we had were basically stuff that we already kind of covered, and so I don't want to kind of have the saturated airtime, basically. So I'll go ahead and pick up Jazzy Barbie. Go ahead whenever you get that unmute ability. Go ahead with your question. I just approved you. Let's hope it works. If not, I'll pick someone else. There we go. Go ahead, Jazzy. Go ahead, Jazzy, whenever you're ready. You're unmuted. You gotta say something, or I'm gonna have to pick someone else.
Yeah, maybe pick someone else if.
Yeah, they're unmuted. It sucks. It happens like all the time. So you get someone unmuted to get up there, and then it don't work for them. So Juicy Majesty, go ahead with your question whenever you get unmuted. There you go. Or Juice Majesty. Nope. They both just dropped out.
Yeah.
Let's try Diamond Hands.
Oh, I like that one.
I like that one too. Hello, who we got up here?
Diamond Hands.
Diamond Hands, how you doing? Sorry, it took a second for my thing to load. I unmuted 3 people, and you're the only one that actually got up here. So, ooh, that was loud. Go ahead with your question whenever you're ready.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. So what I wanted to know exactly is, can I loan out the NFTs, the towns that I'm not currently utilizing in the game, to gamers that are starting up, to give them an upper hand and an additional revenue for myself?
So you mean like, let's say if you're a city owner, whether you can authorize someone else to play layer 2 for you?
Yeah, exactly. On your behalf.
That's also a feature we thought about. We don't have it implemented, but we would need to see, also based on, wishes of other community members. So if something is really wanted feature, we could definitely add it, but it really depends on how many other people would be interested in that, because having quite valuable NFT is like, I guess most people would want to play themselves, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible that someone doesn't have a lot of time and they would just, like someone else to be able to play for it. Then we would need to add some method in a smart contract, like authorize this other address, and then they would be able to make moves for you, and then you could deauthorize them as well. So it's like that technically is definitely possible. We don't have it implemented yet, but yeah, good idea, and we'll see if other community members would be interested in something like that. Then we could add it later on.
Awesome. And then can I ask one more final question? Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, fine with me.
I'm not sure if this was covered, but am I able to deploy both the strategies, military and culture strategies, to increase my chances of earning in the game, or do I have to choose either of the two?
You could be working on both, but as I said, culture is currently not part of the feature set. But later, yeah, you could be working on both. Like you could have both a big army and many vessels, and you could have like some valuable artifact in your city, which would be generating culture income. So yeah, it's not exclusive.
Good questions, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I really do appreciate Diamond Hands for their awesome questions there. I will say I think the lagged out
Awesome.
was in our benefit. So the other two speakers, sorry for you guys not being able to come up and ask your questions. We had some issues going on. It looks like Juice is back. Juice, are you unmuted? Did you want to ask a real quick question before we close this thing out?
Can you
Um,
hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go ahead and make it quick for you, buddy.
Okay, okay. My question is that concerning this game, can I play it offline as well?
No, no, you cannot.
Okay, it's just only online I can play it to earn my blockchain rights.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. That's my question.
Man, short, sweet, and simple. I like it. And that was a good question. Some people do play offline. Some people have that off-chain ability. So, just having that covered and out there and open, really quick and easy, really good. So basically, I will say everybody here, do your research. Like I said, they have a really in-depth white paper. Their about page will give you a good lore about everything. So it's about etherizations.org. So go out there, check it out, take the time, do your research. Layer two is about to be released, so the functionality of uh, cheap fees, fast finality on the moves, allowing you for seamless interaction and obviously ability to play with your Ethereum NFT on the game with the low gas fees is a huge benefit, I believe, for everybody, not just the gamers, but the ecosystem alone. You guys have really thought about how to implement a great business. So, like I'm saying, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, John. I really appreciate both of you guys for coming here, letting us know about this beautiful game. I think it's revolutionary the way you guys set it up. It's very simple, but in depth, complex, a strategic game at the same time. So it's not like, oh, you just get in there and it's very simple and you kind of just get bored of it. But if
Yeah.
you actually sit there and think about it, as I was making plans and strategizing as we were talking. It was really cool. So I really do like it. The seamless integration to the blockchain technology, the reverse economics. It shows that you guys have really, really built an awesome game. And I'm really looking forward to the launch of the layer two and the expansion of the game. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you guys keep us updated over here at the Crypto Miners. We would love to continue to support the growth of Etherization. So I really do appreciate the time, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you. It was very, very good talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.